All I wanted to do was paint something large. Originally, I meant to reuse this larger painting, but I can't really find paper large enough to cover it, nor did I feel ready to do so. I don't even like this painting that much, but it's still kind of nostalgic, so I switched to reusing a 16 by 20 canvas, which was probably already a mistake. And at first, it was going well. I was getting some really beautiful color washes, mostly because of this 100% cotton paper that I was using. The cold press stays so wet for so long, it's very absorbent. But this painting turned out to be an actual failure, and one that I had to give up on. So what the hell happened? I can't believe I'm doing cats again. But the story behind this painting was inspired by a passage written by Devin Price about his pet chinchilla in the book Laziness Does Not Exist. And this is a book that challenges the idea that a person's worth should be tied to their productivity. He wrote, "He's not paying rent, he's not performing any service, and it would be absurd to think about his life in those terms." And I have mentioned before what a comfort that line is to me, because Devin's right. I never expect anything from Maggie that I so often demand of myself. Like, she doesn't hunt the silverfish, she doesn't play in an entertaining way that we would like. She makes a mess every day. Some days I don't even see her outside of meal times. And yet she is our most favorite tenant in our apartment. Devin continues in his book, and this is paraphrased a little bit. "Animals help us remember that we shouldn't have to earn a right to exist. If we can feel that way about animals that we love, and people in our lives who we never judged by their productive capacity, then we can start thinking of ourselves that way too." Which is such a nice message. And the image of a sleeping cat is such a fitting one, and I wanted to put some on high rooftops to sort of represent our amusing worship of them. I wanted it to extend out into the distance as if to include everyone in the world. I was going to title it Eat, Sleep, Dig, and maybe this is just karmic retribution for trying to promote watercolor as something that's fun and something that really is fixable with just a little bit of creativity and determination. But this is not what happened. There were just too many problems. I could ignore perspective, I could try to fix the level of detail, the scale of certain things. Like, normally if a painting doesn't look as, like, good skills-wise, I'm often willing to just let that go, because the point of art is the enjoyment and the story behind it, or just whatever the reason it is that the art exists. And in this painting, no matter how much I tried to fix it aesthetically, it wasn't conveying the mood I was originally going for. I wanted it to be about cats basking in the sun, just existing in their lives without guilt, not being judged and put down for that, the same way that we judge and put down human beings for that. The painting was just giving houses. As soon as I posted it onto Discord, we figured it out pretty much immediately. Where this painting went wrong was at the very beginning, when I gave in to an external pressure. That was that I wanted this to be done in time for a juried art show on the theme of life, probably preferring more realistic, grounded in reality kind of stuff. And I looked at my original sketch, which I loved, and thought, nobody would build a neighborhood in this configuration. I should have made it more grid-like, as it is in real life. So now, instead of feeling invited and warm, my building structures were forming a defensive front line. On top of that, there is more of the structure visible because I was trying to fill in a taller aspect ratio. And then the cats became like little pieces of trivia that didn't seem important to the picture. The mountains and the tower were too large to fill in that space, so there's no feeling of distance. I even tried taking the whole thing apart and stacking them differently, but there was just no salvaging it. The original message is lost, and I would have to start over. This was a really difficult decision because I felt like I'd wasted 2 weeks of hyper-focused work and a sizable piece of my favorite paper. So I think I'm gonna have to let this one go, but even though something fails the first time, I'll always be able to try it again. I don't know what February was for you guys, but it's the last day of February as I record this. I spent at least 2 weeks on this painting that didn't work out, and then my computer broke, and let me tell you, I've been having a horrible time trying to adjust to that. It turns out that I rely on routine a lot more than I thought, and after all that little stress, I'm now sick for the first time in 7 years, which is why I sound like this. So, goodbye February. I hope March is better for everyone. Let me know how yours went, and thanks for watching.